I vividly remember that. No one even think that I can get into fine arts. I would never forget that in my entire life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Emmy. It's been a long time that I uploaded a video. Today, I'm gonna chat with you guys and I want to talk about how did I get into art major. It's kind of like a chit chat thing. It's like 5:09 in the morning. So let me briefly talk about my background first. I've just finished my second semester of my senior year at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and of course my major is fine arts. My concentrations are basically on studio art and also art history, and my school both teaching us on like Western art and also Chinese art. I think this is a very special points of my department among all the schools that around the world that they rarely teach both Chinese and also Western art. Let's talk about how did I get into art major first. So long story short, I loved art when I was very small. I've been doing art for so long, since kindergarten. I started to love art because of drawing. When I was a kid, I really liked to just draw random things. And in high school, and I even picked visual arts as an electives. Just for information, in Hong Kong, we gotta pick up at least 2 electives when we were studying in high school. One of my electives was visual arts, and I would say the story of me getting into fine arts major at CUHK, which is the Chinese University of Hong Kong, is like a miracle for me, and I can never imagine that I can get in. Even right now, I almost graduate. I still feel like this is so magical, and I can never imagine that I can able to get into fine arts in the school that I'm studying right now. It's actually my little dream when I was in high school. I think I rarely tell people about this story because I'm kind of afraid, and also I'm not confident about that. And sometimes I feel like I'm not secure to tell people about my story of getting into art major. So why did I say that this is like a miracle? Because my school is a band 3 school in Hong Kong. So let me briefly explain. So Hong Kong, they divided secondary school into 3 banding. So they have band 1 school, band 2 school, and band 3 school. So band 1 school actually for those students who have very good grades and they are maybe performed very well in the academics and even though in extracurricular activities. So band 2 school is like in the middle between, and band 3 schools are for those who are really bad at studying and they don't have very good academic performance. So I belong to the band 3 school. So basically for band 3 school students, they have a very low rates to get into university. So first, getting into a university is already like a miracle for me. I would say I really worked so hard for making my dreams come true, which is getting into the major and the school that I want to study right now in Hong Kong. I would say you cannot define a student or even teaching quality or the quality of the teachers based on the banding of the school, but actually staying in a band 3 school environment is a bit hard for me. Maybe the students or your classmates around you are not that hardworking, or it's kind of make you not that motivated. But luckily I met very good teachers from secondary school, and they really inspired me and motivated me. Because I think for my school, the rate of getting into a university, it's very low. So like for my year, which was 2017, the year that I got into uni and take the kind of like public examination for, in that year, only I think 4 to 5 people got into university. I can never imagine that I can really study fine arts. I've been always wanted to study arts when I was a kid. I still remember like my dream from childhood was being an artist, but now I think it's kind of ridiculous saying that because I don't think I'm suitable or qualified. So I still remember when I got the public examination results in 2017, which is like almost 4 years ago. The result was not what I expected. It's a bit lower. I even cannot meet the low quarter of getting into the major that I want to study, which is fine arts. I vividly remember that. No one even think that I can get into fine arts at CUHK. I would never forget that in my entire life, because for university application, you gotta put 20 choices in your application. Because for my top 3 choices, I was kind of struggling at that time. I'm thinking, should I even put fine arts to the top one? There's like so many things that most people think I cannot get in. So one of the things is that my score is not enough for getting into fine arts department at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. I mean, I'm qualified for getting into university, but my score wasn't good enough. And the second thing is that my visual arts grades in that year of taking the university public entry exam was also not good. And the third thing is for CUHK Fine Arts, the major that I always want to study and the school that I always want to get in, they only provide 20 quotas for the student. So I mean, the competition is really tough. I remember there's like 300 people applying for getting into the major that I'm studying right now. So all these stuff makes me feel like, oh my gosh, I think I cannot get in. I really want to share a very tiny story about my graduation trip in Rome back in 2017. After I took the university public examination, I went to Europe with a friend. That was like my graduation trip.
1, 2,
And I really remember that I made a wish in Rome in the place called, I don't know how to pronounce it because it's in Italian.
Fontana di Trevi.
This place, I guess everyone knows it, is here. So it's here. So this is the place that I made a wish, and back then I would never ever imagine that my wish really came true. And that's one of the happiest moments in my life when I received the offer and received the notification that, oh my god, you got into your first top dream major, which is fine arts. I think there's like a little reflection of the story. It's like, you should not listen to others. I think for most of the time, you shouldn't care that much about others' opinions, but you know yourself the best. Why the hell you gonna care about so many noise around you? You, the person that like watching the screen in front of like no matter computer or desktop or whatever, you spend most of your time with yourself. How come you don't trust yourself? How come you cared about others' opinions that you cannot get into something or you cannot get into your dream school? Okay, f off. How the hell, how dare you can let others to control your life? And this is one of the things that I learned from this experience.